As we continue our investigation into murder in America, I want to remember Virginia Tech Massacre of April 16th, 2007. One student killed 32 people. 32 people and wounded countless others. The shooter finished his rampage by committing suicide. This remains the deadliest shooting incident by a single gunman in U.S. history. But could it have been prevented? The killer had a history of mental illness and yet had no problem obtaining 2 semi-automatic firearms. Back with me again is my panel, Wendy Murphy, Larry Pratt, and Daniel Weiss. Now, Wendy, I don't think this is what the Founding Fathers envisioned when they talked about the right to bear arms. They didn't know from semi-automatic weapons, where you can kill lots of people in a short period of time.
Yeah, and there's no question that there's been an overuse of the Second Amendment as some kind of absolute authority to use any weapon you can create. That's silliness. But you know, Jane, I don't like guns. I don't even know anybody who owns a gun. So I'm not in that camp. But I've gotten to a kind of desperate point when it comes to representing particularly women victims of violence, that over and over again they are faced with the most horrific of family circumstances where the perpetrator has a gun and the court system keeps sending him home saying, well, you beat your wife, we treat it like shoplifting, and she doesn't have a gun. I've sort of said, stop giving her a restraining order. Give her a gun so you have domestic détente. You know, he's not going to kill her if he thinks she might kill him first. But I've gotten that desperate. I don't like guns, but we have gotten to that point when it comes to violence against women. Right. Well,
I am right there with you in terms of violence against women. 90% of murders are perpetrated by males. So, Daniel Weiss, what's the answer? Only allow women to carry guns? Or do we have to provide some way for women to defend themselves in this culture of violence where they're so often targeted?
Right. The answer is that we need sanity in our gun laws. We need to stop making it so easy for dangerous people, for convicted wife beaters, for felons and criminals and children to get their hands on guns. And we've seen what works. We have hope. For example, after the Virginia Tech shootings, we passed the first major gun control law in more than a decade. The gun lobby, unfortunately, gun owners in America opposed it. It was just to require mental health records be sent to the background check system. Why do we still sell assault weapons with these high-capacity magazines that the Virginia Tech shooter had?
Let Larry weigh in, because I don't think we're saying no guns in America. We're saying there are some crazy cases, like 8-year-olds with guns, like psychopaths with semi-automatics. We got to get a handle on these.
Yeah, why are you still opposing background checks on all guns?
That question was directed to me. The problem, one of the problems that we have that we've never addressed is like the elephant in the room we don't want to look at, is that we continue to insist that we have gun-free zones. Happily, there was not a gun-free zone when a wannabe mass murderer went into the New Life Church in Colorado Springs, Colorado last Christmas time. He was met by the 25 folks in that church that are part of their security detail. These are people that are members of the church, have concealed carry permits, and one of them was able to gun him down, and he was dead within 30 seconds.
Okay.
The killer had 11 minutes.
I understand your theme. We've got more stories. You can weigh in a second. Stacy Peterson, that case coming up, went missing over a year ago. What's happening